No, no, no. Loretta Mester and I are not in any way associated. Okay, just I'm Mr. Bear Jones over here. All right, people, is that you, Bear Jones? Yeah, no, we're not doing anything. All right, look, people, let's sit back and relax. I'm in a really good mood. Why? Because I'm here with you. Other than that, I mean, we have stuff to talk about that just is just almost too freaking much to deal with. Um, anyway, I don't even know where to begin. How about this? I'm laughing. I'm laughing, but it's absolutely pathetic here. So, no secret. What did we find out this morning? I mean, really? Oh, what a shock. Inflation continues to rise. Core prices continue to rise. Food inflation out of freaking control. Okay, but everything's great. Ask our illustrious president here. Um, this whole deal with the mortgage rates continuing to rise. Well, I don't think we've seen anything yet. But meanwhile, mortgage demand is at its lowest pace, state, whatever, in nearly 30 freaking years. 30 years. Okay, so what does this mean? It doesn't look too good for the real estate market here. Honestly, what's keeping all of this afloat? Well, you witnessed it today. It's more debt. Did you see the market all over the place? I mean, positive, negative, negative, positive. The MMRI came down. Who's buying the debt? Who's buying the debt? Who's buying the market? Okay, we know who's doing both of these things here. This is a managed market, just as if we lived again in some piss poor freaking third world nation, and that's what they're doing. Nothing has any bearing whatsoever on reality here. We also found this out too. I mean, this is the scenario. Let me set this for you. So what did we find out? Inflation is rising, food inflation is out of control, mortgage rates rising, real estate bubbles bursting. Real wages, that is the amount of money or cash that people are earning, can't in any way, shape, or form keep up with the rising rates of inflation that was temporary. No, then it was transitory. Then it was peaking about 20 freaking times. Thank you, Melanie. And then it was, what's the last word? Sticky. And now we just found out that it just continues to rise. But real wages are cratering. I mean, look, people have a noose around their neck, okay? And this is the Federal Reserve. This is central banks. This is the World Bank. Did you hear about the World Bank? In case you missed that one here. So our illustrious imbecile president, okay, he gets to choose the new head of the World Bank. He picks some freak, okay? Now, the World Bank, for those of you that don't know, is a for-profit organization here. They have shareholders. So let me ask you, while we're all here, we're all friends, right? There's 677 of you here right now. Whose interest do you think they have in mind? Yours or their shareholders? You and me don't matter at all. We're a big fat zero. But our president wants you to know he elected a really nice, sweet man to head the World Bank. Oh, and then soon, our illustrious president is going to be choosing a replacement for Braintard. Brainerd. Yeah, she left. I think it's going to be Neil Cash and Carry. I could be wrong on that, but that would be my first pick, Neil Cash and Carry. And we're all dead. I hope you all realize that we're all dead. And the central banks here, they are solidifying their power faster than ever in freaking history here as they continue to inflate and everything freaking else here. Totally out of control. So again, part of the economic news today, cost of food is rising, cost of living higher, loan defaults continue to rise. That was another piece of information we got today. Imagine Greg Mannarino shock. You knew this was going to happen. We talked about it right here. And the debt burdens that people are carrying, and I hope this isn't any of you here right now, is his highest in history. Imagine my shock here. Imagine anyone's shock here. You can't make this stuff up. And I don't know how many of you were catching the mainstream media other than Bloomberg that was laughing. They were laughing this morning at this freaking first-time unemployment claim, literally laughing at it. Well, the same Fox Business, same thing, even CNBC, they're like, well, what's going on here? Things aren't adding up. Duh. It's all fake. You ever notice how they have these earpieces in? They're supposed to hide them. They're clear. They're told what to say and what not to say. If they go off on a tangent, they get like a beep in their ear. Shut the F up is what it actually means. Anyway, craziness, and more craziness here. People, what else would you expect? Let me ask you, look, like I always say, now there are 941 of you here. Is anything going on today that you did not expect? Everything that you and I have spoken about for I don't know how long. Well, it's happening. It's right in our face. And do you believe? Really, here's the question. Here's the question. Do you believe it's going to get any better for you? Really? Honestly? No, not at all. In fact, you can expect everything we're seeing to get monumentally worse. The distortions in the market. Look what they're doing here. Look today at the MMRI. Watch the 10-year yield come down. Who's buying that debt? Okay. Some entity out here where the market was bottoming that out is down around 200 points with regard to the Dow. All of a sudden, the cavalry comes in and bam, 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 bam. We knew this was going to happen. We spoke about it right here. All the large caps started to get bid up, large cap companies, and the market just lifted. That's a Federal Reserve using their trading desk. Thank you, Mitch. I appreciate that. And they're buying the debt. I mean, they're not only buying the market, which they do buy the market, they're also buying the debt. And that's what sparked today's little rally here. Do you realize that today is the first day in 5 where the S&P 500 has finished positive? And, look, you and I, we've been so far ahead of the curve on this. It's incredible. What did we talk about for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks? First line in the sand, 250 on the MMRI, 250 on the MMRI. We came down to 251 after being at like 257.8. That's substantial. That's substantial. That is the Fed. They're buying it all. Imagine my shock here. As look, with regard to the distortions that exist here, the price action of everything, the volatility in things like natural gas, this is going to continue for a while. But bottom line here is commodities are going to skyrocket, people, moving forward as this whole thing eventually comes apart. But for now, you got central banks, again, the Fed here, buying it all. And they're going to continue to buy it all because that's their goal, to inflate. They must inflate by any mechanism you can dream about, think about, spray your shorts over, or anything freaking else. You all know that. Thank you, Gordon. I appreciate that. Anyway, that's the story. It's just lovely. Keep your eyes on the MMRI. I'm sitting there, I'm laughing. I'm watching the market go bang, bang. First of all, we were down. Then all of a sudden I'm watching bang, 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 bang. I'm like, there they go. This is it. This is the Fed buying the market. Next thing I do, look at the MMRI down, 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 down. I'm laughing. I'm rolling on the freaking floor here, honestly. Anyway, that's where we stand today, people. Is just freaking lovely. And that's all. So FL Treasure. Why do you think we're going to get a big sell-off tomorrow? It all depends on the debt market. Again, look, you and I don't need to guess at all. We don't need to guess. And there's people, this may happen and that may happen and anything may happen. But as long as if they manage, as you all are well aware of, to foster the illusion of stability here in the debt market, see the market's going higher. I don't care about anything else. The housing market could crumble to zero. Okay, the economy could stop. Okay, they could shut it down again, and the market will go up as long as they can stabilize the debt market. That's all that matters here. It's the main driver of the market. If they manage to do a few things, and I'm just going to cover them real quick. Okay. Stabilize the debt market. Let's just say, for example, the market starts to get the gist that maybe the 10-year yield is going to remain where it is. The relative strength of the dollar is going to remain kind of where it is. MMRI will sit where it is. As long as they don't move, the market's going up. If the market sees signs of instability here in that debt market, well, then, of course, people are going to run to the freaking hills, and crude oil up the back door. You know what I'm talking about. If crude oil gets bid up, well, what does crude oil do? It's the lifeblood of the military-industrial complex. It's the lifeblood of this freaking market here. Energy is a huge part of this market. Who finances it? All the banks. So you can just see how it works. It's not hard to just follow the money. If you just follow the money, you're going to know exactly what's going on here. You get it? I think you all do. All right. Now, with that said, we're into this for just about 10 minutes. MMRI 1000. I don't even know if we will exist at MMRI 1000. Is it possible to hit MMRI 1000? Yeah. Look, let me tell you something about the MMRI. Okay. The MMRI is designed for today's environment. Thank you, Jay Hala. Cute little thing over there. And I think, I've said this a million times. I really feel like it's the best risk indicator that has ever been imagined for the market. We nailed it at 250 with regard to the MMRI. We know where the red line in the sand is, people. Again, if we need another sign, I don't think we need one. It's right here. But again, let's see what they pull off. Today, someone's buying this debt out here. It ain't me. It ain't you. It's obviously the Federal Reserve. Okay. Market, just the cavalry comes in, the plunge protection team, which is a real thing. Look it up. Plunge protection team. Yeah, they came in and started buying all large caps. That's what they do. They manipulate the large cap companies so it pulls the whole market with it. This is something we've seen over and over and over again. This doesn't stop. It's part of the charade here that's being played on all of us here, people, truly. Anyway, DVN, energy company. Yeah, I think it's a long-term hold. Absolutely. Energy, commodities. This is where we need to be moving forward here. That's my opinion. Please do your own homework on this, but it should make sense to you. Commodities, I think, are a no-brainer on the most grand scale you can possibly imagine because they're real things, not just silver and gold and everything else. Crude oil, these are real things, okay? They're not like, they actually are on the elemental chart, unlike everything else, which is just kind of in la-la land, all right? So this is why I believe eventually at the point of their choosing, we are going to get a meltdown here in the debt market, and it's going to be the most epic moment in time. Their heads are going to spin around like the freaking exorcist, okay? And that's going to crush the stock market in the same way that suppressed rates have forced cash into risk, meaning stocks. It would have the reverse effect. Make sense to you? I hope so. And then again, all that cash bleeding out of the debt market, all that cash bleeding out of the stock market, it's just, what do I tell you all the time? It doesn't grow little money wings and fly away. La, 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 into la, la land. No, it just moves. Cash moves. It's going to move into commodities. And I'm going to stick to my guns on this one. I think into the big cryptocurrencies as well. But I think, sincerely, the most suppressed assets of all time, the most suppressed asset of all time is this. So that's how you win, at least from a financial standpoint here. USO, here's another one. This is Michael. The question is USO. Is another way to gain exposure here, if you want to. Anyway, volatile. Just expect volatility. Thank you, Roberto. I appreciate that. Revolt now or perish. Paul, you and I are on the same page here. What have I been telling everyone? We need a revolution. We're not going to get one because there are so few people like you and I, Paul, and the rest of us here. Okay. We have the ability, I sincerely believe this, to see a little further down the road. We're not brain dead. We're not zombies, or puppets. We're able to think for ourselves. Let me tell you something. Thinking for yourself, it may seem easy to you and I, but most people can't do it at all. They have no capacity to think for themselves. They have to be told what to do, what to say, what to wear, and everything else. This is how people's minds are manipulated by the mainstream media. It's all propaganda. It's all distortions, distractions, and everything freaking else here. It's a freak show. And who controls the flow of information? If you don't believe that it's central banks that control everything, even the flow of information, well, then I guess you're a little off base here. You got to readjust your compass because it is the central banks of the world that run the world economy, the world markets, the financial system, the media. Everything is controlled by central banks. They're the government. They're the one real government, which we all knew would eventually come, and they are here now, period. Eggs to the moon. Yeah, eggs would be a nice form of currency. Don't you think? At least at this particular time. Anyway, so let's Coco. I'm sorry, I keep forgetting about Coco. He's roaming around. He's probably sleeping. Probably doesn't want me to bother him anyway. I promise to bring Coco around soon once I get my head together. I keep forgetting. Anyway, so let's cover a couple of cover a few questions. What do you guys got for me? Let's Coco is my financial advisor. You know what? I think he's a lot smarter than some people. You know, it's astonishing how smart animals actually are. I don't think people give animals enough credit. Seriously. And I'm not looking at the GHOUL. I don't even see it because they ain't doing it. I'm not gonna do it. I'm getting like sweaty here, but I'm not doing it. Anyway, why is oil so cheap? You know, let's cover that real quick. All right. In my opinion, and I've spoken about this before, crude oil doesn't have any business being here where it is right now. I think fair value for crude oil right now, $30 a barrel. Truly, the rest of it is just all propped up. And it's going to continue to go that way. But again, crude oil, I don't think people understand how important it is to the functioning of the world economy, to the markets itself, to the banks, to the energy companies. The world functions off of this stuff. So, but it's going to get propped up a lot more. I'm telling you, I have no doubt whatsoever. Natural gas, extremely volatile, very volatile. I've been telling you this for the longest time. I think it put on like 6% today. I mean, it's all over the place. You know, if you want, you know, if you can deal with, you know, if you want it, there's a lot of exchange traded funds that will give you exposure to natural gas. I put a whole list of these out, a couple of them in my free newsletter, link in the description below. That will give you exposure to commodities like natural gas. But you gotta understand what's going on here. You can't, you know, throw your cash in an asset and expect all of a sudden it's just going to start working for you positively. Chances are it's going to go against you at first. It's really the truth. And with certain commodities like natural gas and certain assets like cryptocurrencies, for example, the volatility is off the Richter scale. They're definitely not for everyone. If you're kind of like a wild guy or a wild girl and you don't mind just, you know, parking some cash and just letting it sit in volatile assets, and I think, like, for example, natural gas, cryptocurrencies, you know, I think in the long run you're going to be fine. But definitely not for everyone. It can get people rattled, especially if people are playing with even a single dime they can't afford to lose. Never, ever, ever put cash to work in anything unless you can literally say, okay, you know what, I'm willing to lose the cash, truly. Anyway, people, grimace, why? Gold standard, never going to happen. Never, ever going to happen. I don't know where people are getting this from. There may be a YouTuber out here who's trying to convince people that we're going back to a gold standard. You have to understand what's happened here, okay? Central banks have really done everything they can to establish this fiat monetary system. They fought wars over this. They've killed hundreds of thousands of people to establish the fiat monetary system and the petrodollar. They will not give these up without maybe a nuclear exchange. It ain't happening. There's no way on this earth we're going back to a gold standard. A gold standard would take away the power of central banks. No one person has the ability to do this. It's never going to happen. So whoever's telling you this has no clue about what's going on or the lengths that central banks will go through to keep their debt-based economic model going. Once we went off of the gold standard and we went from a wealth-based system into a debt-based system, which we have now, we all lose. It's over. And there ain't no way it's coming back. No way in our lifetime. It would take literally divine intervention for a gold standard to be reinstituted. Central banks are too powerful. They're at the pinnacle of their power today, and they're getting stronger every day. Every single day that a central bank is around and it has the ability to continue to be called upon to issue more debt, funding wars, warp speed vaccines, or whatever else it might be, the central banks get stronger, and it's out of control. There's just no possible way at this point. No possible way. Anyway, that's the situation. At least that's my take on it, people. I really believe that most of us here are on. Yeah, exactly. We can dream. It would be nice. You know, look, when any nation has a gold standard or a commodity-backed currency, it restrains spending. Okay, and that's what they can't allow to happen. As a matter of fact, our forefathers said if we had a gold standard, it would restrain war. how can we fund wars if we're restrained to our spending? We can't go out there and just conjure up hundreds of millions and billions of dollars like we're sending over to Ukraine right now to fund this war over there. Can't happen. And this is how central banks, who are the government today, who are the one world government we all knew was coming, have their power. You want to take down the Federal Reserve, you want to take down any central bank, it's the simplest thing in the world to do. Prevent them from issuing $1 single of more debt. Just $1. It's over. They implode. The system must continually and relentlessly inflate and inflate and inflate and inflate. It can't stop, ever. The moment it stops, this whole thing stops. No access to your bank accounts. All your cash disappears. The cash you have, these are not units of wealth. They're units of debt you don't even own. You know this already if you've been following my work, okay? These notes that we work for here, all of us work for it, okay? That we love seeing those zeros in our bank account. We don't own a single one of them. They're owned by the issuing central bank, and they're owed back to the issuing central bank, plus interest that they create nothing. That's the power of central banking. And central banks, every single one of them, none more so than the Fed, has the full backing of the United States Armed Forces, including its nuclear arsenal. You think about that. It's pretty astonishing when you think about it. Anyway, that is where we stand, my friends, honestly. No, don't be afraid. Exactly. Joe Potter, absolutely. No fear. You see, look, knowing what we know gives us power, gives us enormous power, because we realize what we need to do. You understand? It's so simple to me. When I sit back and I say, okay, here's the card. These are the cards that we're dealt. What are we going to do with them? Are we going to run to a corner somewhere and suck our thumb somewhere? Or are we going to take action? Are we going to say, okay, what can we do with the current situation? And me and all of you, at least I hope so, Amanon, absolutely. We're not just sitting here, mentally playing with ourselves. All right, we're actually doing something. We're taking action. We're betting against the dead. We know who our enemies are. Okay, we don't need to love our enemies, these particular ones, or turn the other cheek. I think we need a revolution. I really, really do. Anyway, that's a whole other thing. Anyway, food and water, absolutely priceless during what is coming. You need access to these things, people. This is why I turn you on to Alaska Prepper. Great guy. Really cares about everyone as well. All right, people, look, that's it. We're on here for 23 minutes and 5 seconds. I got 1,687 of you here. This is fantastic. Toilet paper. Yeah, there's another one for you. Anyway, that's going to be it for now, people. Look, we will resume the festivities live tomorrow, same time. Now, don't forget, it's 1:05 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I don't know where you are in the world, but just figure it out. All right. People were saying, "Oh, Greg's late." No, I wasn't late. Okay, I told you the time, and that's when I can come out here. That's as early as I can possibly make it, with the market close and everything else. That's it. I'll see you tomorrow for my pre-market report. And like I said, we'll resume the festivities later on. This guy loves all of you. I mean that we're a family. We care about each other. At least I care about all you, and I know you care about me. Everyone is here. We got each other's back. And when all else fails, that's what really, really matters, is we got each other. You know what I mean? We love each other. We care about each other. We're charitable to each other. That's it. All right. I'm out of here. See you in the morning.